Welcome back. That's a fact. That's a fact. Brooklyn. That's a fact. Welcome back. That's a fact. That's a fact. Welcome back. That's a fact. That's a fact. Brooklyn. That's a fact. That's a fact. Welcome back. That's a fact. That's a fact. Welcome back. Es verdad, es verdad. Todo el mundo es verdad.
What? Welcome back, fact lovers. I'm here with Spud Brooklyn. Spud is a media molder and a community activist who spends his time helping aspiring and established artists make their music and sound clear, and also clean their image. He's also involved in the criminal justice reform movement. Spud, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you for having me, man. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Can you please tell our viewers about yourself in your own words?
Well, everything media, that's how I started with just media. I like the form of expression. And as time morphed with form of expression, I realized that is an outlet, especially in this generation, to get things out as well as connect. So I was trying to find a way to add my love for that and community. And it started out with the studio, having a base where people would come and record and do music. So I wanted to add the comfortability there.
Yeah.
After doing that, I realized how much in the music people actually give their life expressions and basically tell on themselves.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Confessions.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
So
We know there's a rapper going through something because he confesses.
yes,
right?
a bunch of confessions. So with that, I decided to formulate a way to use that as a connection into the generations, as well as share my experience. At the age of 15, I was sentenced to life.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did 13 years in prison. So coming home, I realized how much that was kind of like a badge of honor. But I didn't want to use it that way. So being that I knew they look up to my past, I could use that as an edge to be like, come here, youngin', let me holler at you and get their attention. Yes. So I merged that with the studio, and then I created a nonprofit called Spud Inc. That's where we actually just came in from now, doing right now.
So I just met you recently.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you, Spud. How was it? I found out you grew up in Bushwick. How was it growing up in Bushwick back in the days? And what kind of obstacles did you feel like you faced in Bushwick?
I had this conversation with someone who was like, "Oh my God, you know Bushwick? I wish I could get there." And I had a phrase like, "I lived in Bushwick when you didn't want to come to Bushwick."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
fact.
That's a fact.
It was like there was blocks that there was probably one building on, and in school they had assemblies telling you don't even go down that block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do miss about the times of growing up, even with the hardships that we faced, there was a certain level of morals. Like growing up, the drug dealers and the dudes in the streets were, they were active doing what they doing, which was wrong per se, but they were our role models in the sense that they were the ones that told me like, yo, don't go on that block, go to school.
Right.
I watched them help the lady cross the street with bags. I watched them hold doors. There was a certain level of code that even though they were in the streets doing negativity, you gained some type of insight. That has diminished with as time got better.
Yeah.
That code just got diminished, and I'm watching a bunch of youngins talking crazy in front of older people, won't even help someone up the steps.
It's no respect.
So the time, even though it was a deep hardship in time, there was a code, a moral set that I think was priceless at that time.
No, for sure.
After everything you've been through, like what motivated you to get to where you at right now? Like all the struggle and everything.
The biggest motivation was being counted out. Even before incarceration, coming up from where we come from, the odds are always stacked against us. We always hear, we either die at 25 or we go to prison. Like, that's a bed made for us already.
Yeah.
So once I actually was sitting in that bed when I was sentenced to life and not knowing if I was ever going to get out, once I actually got the opportunity to get out, there's nothing you can lay before me. Everything from this point is up.
Sky's the limit.
And my biggest thing was, I want to put it before you. 10 minutes talking to me long enough, you'll know I did a bid. Because I wear it. That's my path. And now that I put it on the table, what else can you use against me? I got nothing to hide. Now we got past that, and that was my biggest motivation. Once I got out, I just wanted to run. You know, I sat in a cell for a long time. I just wanted to run, and it wasn't easy, you know, because when I went away, I was 15, so I came home. I didn't know what internet was. You know what I'm saying? My lawyer told me to get an email, and I thought I had to pay for it. I'm like, damn, I ain't got no bread for that. I did not know, you know, it was a whole new world. I didn't know how to get on a bus. I know it's on a Metro card.
How was that transition for you?
The transition was a little rough because the typical person don't understand the transition you have to go through. So when you come home, no one has the time to sit down and do the step-by-step with you because they're still chasing their life. So everyone expects you to know. And then you kind of feel like, I don't want to ask so much questions, so you try to figure it out on yourself, which causes a deeper frustration at times. But I embodied it. When I came home, I just was like, yo, no one's going to really help me. You know, you get sold a lot of dreams. Yeah. And, you know, people probably mean it. Yo, when you get out, I got a job for you. And this and this. And when you get out, you really get a taste of reality. And when I got that taste of reality, I was like, you know, I did my bid. Now that I'm home, I got to do this bit. You know what I'm saying? I got a bit out here, and that was my biggest thing. Like,
that's powerful words.
Yeah,
that's powerful. All right, let's get right into the origins of what you do.
Okay.
I know you're an engineer, artist, songwriter, and an entrepreneur. Explain to us a little bit about those things.
Well, I started out as an artist, solely just putting out music. We had a good run. We put out a project which Jive Records was interested in. Wu-Tang wanted to take us on tour, but my situation was I was on parole. So I couldn't do much, you know. I had that invisible chain and ball, which limited me. I came across a situation where CNBC wanted a record to use for a commercial, and you know I was just rapping, and they took the record, and they used about 40 something seconds of the record, and the cash out was like $30,000 for 40 something seconds. That broadened my horizon. Like, I don't gotta rock a stage to make some bread. The table even turned further when a lawyer was like, "Oh, that's cool. What did you negotiate?" And I'm like, "Negotiate? They said I own the rights to the record. I don't care about that." He's like, "You didn't negotiate reruns, DVDs? Like, there was so much money you missed out on." And that just broadened my horizons. Like, this business of music is more than just me putting out a mixtape, rocking a few shows, going on tour. Yeah. Like, I could sit in my bed and make money.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you know, I want to transition into the studio. I needed a place to work because, you know, at the end of it, I love music. Music is something that actually kept me alive. I mean, my studio right now is named Shoe Studio. That's the special housing unit. In prison, that's solitary confinement.
Shoe?
Shoe. And that's my name of my studio. And the reason why I named it that.
Like the shoe box, right?
SHU.
Okay, yeah.
SHU, Special Housing Unit. That's solitary confinement. I renamed my studio that because music is what kept me sane. So I wanted to just keep that transition. And once I found a passion and a way to make a living for me, is when I said, I'm not looking back. I don't want to work for nobody. I love music, and I found a nice medium to do that, as well as now do mediating with the music.
Great.
What were some of your motivations, and who were some of your idols growing up? Like, what made you want to be musically involved? Like,
you know, the first time, like, I always loved music. Growing up, I didn't know what genre was. Like, my pops, I come from a Jamaican background, so my pops was listening to like Bob Marley and the Wailers, but then my mom was listening to like pop, like almost rock. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to George Michael's and then my sister was listening to like Seal and Phil Collins, and then my brothers was listening to like Eric B. and Rakim.
So you grew up some range.
Yeah, so music was just, it was a feel for me. Like, I didn't think about genre, but I remember seeing Rakim's following leader, like really sitting down watching that video. And when he pulled out the Tommy guns on the white dude, I felt empowered. Like, I never saw that before. Like, these dudes were in suits, driving around on the side of the cars. Like my visions of cowboys growing up. You know, imagery's a big part in our community. What you see, I never saw that. I felt so empowered. Like, I was like, yo, I want to rock. I want to do that. I want to give that energy. And that was my first like love for like when I knew music gotta be it. Like, I never felt nothing like that in my life when I saw that, and I just wanted to translate that.
What are you listening to right now? Like some of the up and coming artists, new artists that are out.
I'm very picky, man. Like if you take a ride with me right now, I'm gonna take you from 1980 to probably I'll stop at like 97. yeah, I'm hard. Like they get on me all the time. They call my car the time capsule. But being transitioning into like we do A&R work. We do artist development for like Def Jam.
Okay.
We shop artists to RCA. Cinematic is something that we just got involved with. So I try to put aside my preference, and my whole thing is I look for where it can be placed. I might not like it. It's like having a store. I might not eat pork. I know there's a clientele for pork.
Right.
So I'm trying to get the best pork I can sell because I know people want it. And that's how I listen to music now. I kind of look at where the market for it goes, where it could be suitable, and where's the demand. So now I've been really open. I listen to all the stuff now. I try to give everything a shot, just to keep fresh, and especially being music taking a turn throughout the generations, how fast that movement can change. I don't want to be a dinosaur. Like, I don't want to be a dinosaur in that game, especially if I love this.
What's like what's the first thing you do like in order to develop when you're developing an artist? What's the first thing you look at or look for?
My business partner Sincere, he always says I gotta. He got, and I don't want to misquote him. He said, I gotta believe it, I gotta want to be it, or I gotta see people wanting to be it. Something of that sense. And the first thing I do, I add that kind of theory to what I do when I look into music, but the first thing I do is the artist, how passionate the artist is. You know, a lot of artists come into the studio and they got good records, but they don't have the work ethic to add to that. And in this business, I don't care how nice you are, if you don't got the work ethic to invest in yourself, how you gonna ask somebody to invest in you? You know, I get a lot of artists like, yo, Spud, put me on. Just because you recorded that record, you want me to do all the work for you. And then you're not even gonna shout me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look for the artist investing in himself, how good the record is and what we can do with the record. And I'm even I tippy-toe with that. Because sometimes you could get blinded by that as well. So I kind of feel the artist out. I'll take a few times with them and then I'll ask them like, yo, what do you want to do with it? And I do work agreements. Like I started out doing management, which was the worst thing in the world. Like I do not do management. People tend to put their feet up when they hear the word management. Like you're supposed to do everything for them. So I do work agreements. And my whole thing is as much energy you put in, I'm going to put in. So if you grinding, I'll match it. If you got your feet up, I'm gonna get busy somewhere else. You know, so I try to give much people, artists and talents, as much chances as I can, without jeopardizing, you know, what I gotta do, because I can't forget me in the process of it.
That's true.
How did you learn to be a music engineer? Like, is it something you went to school for? Or is it,
No.
self-made?
Me and my manager, we had a situation with Jive where they asked us to write a record for Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson, and Leona Lewis. I wrote the record for Avril Lavigne called Split Milk, and then Kelly Clarkson, I wrote a record called Lullaby. For Leona Lewis, I wrote a record called Marksman. They hated the record. My manager was so caught up with me being a rapper. Like, he believed in me as an MC, and he was like, yo, you are dope. Like, you were dope. And my whole thing was like, I just love music. So putting that in the back seat wasn't an issue for me. And we kind of parted ways. And when we parted ways, that's when I was like, I need a bass. So I was walking down the street and I saw a refrigerator box. I cut a door in it. I cut a window. I put some foam, went to CVS, bought the bathroom, put it in. Got the laptop, I ran a mic in it, and I was doing free studio sessions. My theory was, if I fuck up your session, you can't be mad, it's free. But that was my rehearsal. And I did that for like 6 months. And then one day I was working at a laundry. I was still on parole. I was working at a laundromat. I was only making $160 a week. And I had about 100 and I had like 1,300 to my name. And I remember talking to she wasn't my wife at the time, my lady, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go full length. I'm on Guitar Center right now. They got a bundle. It's for 1,300 right now. I'm gonna blow it all. She was like, you got it? I said, yeah, I got it. She said, do it. And I bought this bundle. It got shipped. I had nowhere to set it up. It sat for 6 months, but I looked at it every day.
Motivation.
And I finally got an opportunity to put it together. I started doing sessions, and I went straight. Once I set it up, I was like, I'm just gonna charge. if y'all hate me and yell at me and I lose business, I need to stop pussyfooting around, because if I do it for free, my integrity and how far I'm gonna put into it is gonna be at lax, because hey, I gotta be mad. And I just started to grow. I started to develop a good ear, incorporate me being an artist and an engineer helped a lot, because I get to relate to artists a lot. If any artist in this room right now, engineers are some weird dudes, man. Like, you be in a session, you be like, yo, this dude is bugged. Like, yo, son, I don't want those echoes right there. Nah. Like, and being an artist, I'm telling you, I was going through it. But being an artist, it gave me a lot of freedom to get the artist, and I could be like, instead of me saying, nah, put that there, I'd be like, let me try something. If you don't like it, I could get, and chances are, you know, we'll be in the same pocket. I get to fill them out. So that's when I was like, you know, my love for music just translated to now I wanted to help create the music.
Alright. Whatever they may be, what are some accolades and personal achievements that you're most proud of?
Some of my most, I mean, the CNBC one was one of my favorites. My accolades that I'm most proud of is how many artists that I helped move. Like, I worked with artists when they were like 13, all the way till they were 18, and seeing them now, like, they go in the studio an hour busting out 4 records. Like, those achievements, like, and he might not be on, you know, his block might know him, but to see the creativity and expression flourish from when he came and he couldn't write a bar. He didn't even know what a bar was. So I'd be like, yo, how many bars is that? It's 32 bars, I'm going straight, let me record this. You know, a lot of that. Most of the artists that I helped groom and see them now doing, even if our nation took interest in it, you know what I'm saying? And to see that interest, it fizzled out because of business. He was young and he didn't understand the concept of team, which a lot of young, I want to say this generation, not just young or old, but both, don't get the concept of team, and it kind of diminished from that. But that let me know that we have something. And as time went, like now, we have like open door policies with RCA, Def Jam. Def Jam uses my studio for artist development like every other Monday. So those achievements, just to say like, yo, I might hit in Bushwick. I don't have $1 million studio, but we could create $1 million music for sure. You know what I mean?
That's very impressive. Yeah, but Spud, here on our podcast, we like to focus and shine a spotlight on like the most positive things people are doing for the community. And we know that you've been giving back to NYC's incarcerated people and kids at a, like you said, a non-profit for free, to give our brothers and sisters a way to do what they love and express themselves. Tell our listeners how you give back, and we want to hear a couple of stories as well.
Every Wednesday, I take a 5-hour drive to go upstate to the prison. I set up the recording studio right in the jail, and we record the music, and I give those brothers an outlet to record. In order to participate in the program, you have to maintain a certain level of no disciplinary actions. In this particular facility, we were able to stop 2 riots just with the program.
Wow.
Just getting that comfortability with the brothers to be like, yo, what's going on? What's happening? And actually building a relationship with the officers as well during the program. So we was able to do that. I do that every week. With the schools, I go into the schools and I do daycares. I go anywhere you want me set up. I'll come to your house and set up in your kitchen. It don't matter. Like, I got the mobile set up. If you don't have it, we'll get it done. But my whole thing is just trying to do that, like give that expression the opportunity. We also did a Men Against Domestic Violence charity basketball game. We took a chance. We weren't sure how many people would turn out, and it was packed. We got so much stuff to give back that we didn't only have for survivors of victim violence, domestic violence, but we had some for the male shelters as well. We got so many items, and so much of a success that they now want to redo it, duplicate it every year. They want to do it. So we try our best to do that as much. We do coat drives, toy drives. We do victims of fires. We just recently did one for PS 106. There was a few people who had space heater fires. I go into the local stores, thrift shops, and because I have a 501c3, I offer them a tax write-off on anything that they can donate. And I don't mind. I'll boost the value. So if you give me a $10 shirt, I say, yo, I'll give you $50 for every $10 shirt you give me. I write it off for the value. If I have the opportunity to give something to help you, to help me help someone, then that barter system, I don't mind doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's a fair exchange at the end of the day. So I try to utilize that as much as I can. Add it to the community.
Bring back the barter system.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's bring that shit back.
Alright, yeah, well, that's our interview segment, but I want to thank Spud for giving us the time on our podcast.
Thank you,
Fab. Mixed and mastered, holla at my brother Spud Brooklyn. Check out his website, spudbrooklyn.com, or his Instagram at Spud Brooklyn. Thanks for coming again, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Well, that was an amazing first show. Thank you to Councilman Espinal. Thank you to Nehemiah Marcos and to Spud Brooklyn. We really appreciate having you guys on the show. We had a blast doing this, and we look forward to our next show honoring women and their contribution to Brooklyn and Bushwick. If you have any comments about today's show, you can visit our website at that'safact.nyc. You can also like us and comment on YouTube or Instagram at that'safactnyc.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Also, if you or anyone would like to be on our show or get your music played or get your company promoted, you can contact us through our email and we will work out a schedule with you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a safe night. Turn up. That's a fact.
That's
fact.